what you think I believe now. It is the Shifter Podcast on YouTube with Tim Tactics.
Everyone, welcome to the Shifter Podcast, where we talk with everyone relevant in the shift currently on Earth. Our guest tonight used to be in one of the most popular rap bands, German rap bands, called Brothers Keepers. Then he became experiencer and contactee and is now a galactic shaman, amplifier, and refiner of galactic consciousness and bioresonant engineer, whatever that means. We're going to talk today about it. With us is Arcturus Ra. Hi, and welcome to the Shifter Podcast.
Hi, and it's an honor to finally meet you. Heard a lot about you from different corners where, interestingly, it's like not all the time, one looks, but I heard Tim Tactics, hear an echo here. Something there. See Emery, then I see you. And then somewhat turn around, our friend Ishmael was like, "You guys, you need to talk. I have a feeling like," and it was like really felt like you mentioned. I was like, you know what, I'm getting a ping, like a signal when you like a signature, and here we are.
I'm very excited about that. Ishmael was actually the one who brought us together, and I felt like a real resonance in the way that we texted. So welcome to the Shifter Podcast. And many people from Germany might know the band that you used to be in, which is Brothers Keepers. You've been a rapper in Germany, even with a golden LP that I've learned that on Wikipedia. And you've always tried to bring in spiritual context into the music that you make. But now you're also doing something completely different, and you're in the US. So maybe you can close that gap and explain everyone who knows you from your music, how you went to the US and did what you did.
So, I mean, all my life I had paranormal experiences as an experiencer, contactee, if you will, things and occurrences and synchronicities not yet recognized, but always like pointing the way with a signpost. And I kind of like subliminally had a direction to be metaphysical. I was always a poet, metaphysical poet. It was always about metaphysics and awakening people. It was about consciousness, ancient knowledge, and expanding knowledge, and really shedding light on new things that people need to study that the average populace didn't study back then. And somehow, 2011, when everybody had the 2012, oh my God, the world's going to end, a call kind of came in where I was flown by friends to Mount Shasta. I had an interdimensional contact experience with an Arcturian ship that came from another dimension or timeline, if you will, blinking in, contacting 9 people of us on the mountain. By that time, record deals kind of faded. Labels were not looking for metaphysical or creative rappers. I wanted to create a video to wake people up on Machu Picchu. That was the deal. Fly out there with a camera team and rap from an ancient ruin, which nobody has ever done that. You can say a word or a buzzword for having the acknowledgement that your soul does not come from this planet, that there's a source, there's more, there's something beyond what you think the world is, and it's more fantastic that you can ever know. And helping people in what you call the signs of the time, German word Zeitgeist, to now intersect and interlink with that to, okay, and now I know where to put that. How do I place that? What do I do with contact experience? What are shadow people? What are shadow beings? What is Bigfoot? Even I had a Bigfoot encounter and I didn't even look for the guy. That was just, it just came in. When you deal with those worlds, things open up that people didn't think that were possible, but science has already shown us, the consciousness can travel. For instance, there is a book written by J.J. Hertak and Keys of Enoch and a group of scientists. It's called Mind Dynamics. Well, they're proving in the lab that you can project your consciousness to Mars, and more things in your life and what you're looking for can open up for you when you put the pieces together in a way that they make sense. I can show you an example. I channeled Aramaic, and I don't speak that language. See?
Wow. Did you go to somewhere who
Yes.
speaks Aramaic?
Yes, and I translate it now. I went to a guy in Bahrain who speaks ancient Aramaic, and I understood it was me talking to myself, but another version of me. You got the formula for freeing human race from a captive mind or imprisoned mind. Sailing with his ship, navigating through space and time through the portals of heaven. Home in space, in the light of the Eye of Horus. Then I have a word here, Esraton. You heed and knock to the liberated. And I checked Esraton, the word means from darkness to light, which makes complete sense to me, and is a temple somewhere in the Arabic Emirates where it's a dig site where nobody is digging. But there's an ancient temple that's not on a commercial board where I investigated with people that live around the area that know the place. And they said the temple of Esraton is here. So there's some stuff happening, and you haven't heard that on Gaia yet. You haven't heard that on any other documentary or anything. This is really like insider stuff to help awaken.
You've basically channeled Aramaic, ancient Aramaic, even though you don't speak it. You brought it to someone, an interpreter who speaks that, and it comes through a clear message, as a clear message. And I was impressed when I came forward. I wasn't expecting so much of the knowledge channeled would be on this planet, because there is already so much knowledge on this planet, which is fantastic. What would you say to someone who receives inner messages? How should they approach that? How should they internalize that? How seriously should they take this?
So first off is you have to have a good filter that you're not being contacted by entities. I always say darkness can never manifest. Darkness can never speak truth, and darkness will always lead you into a dead end. Like they will reach a point where it doesn't manifest, it doesn't go anywhere. You have to figure this out. You have to realize that quick. So when this message came to me, I knew this was a part of my soul, or a fragment of my soul from another point of origin, not in this space and time here, communicating to me. I went on YouTube and I showed the letter. I said, I don't speak that language. Can anybody tell me what this is? And I had several people like, dude, this is a dead language. And there were people that say, I can read it. I'm like, where did you get this from? I said, well, this came through me. And I wrote it down, automatic writing, but perfect, And and the story continues. I mean, I have other languages that can't be translated that come from timelines. I don't even know what. Look at this here. I have not found anybody that can translate that yet.
Impressive. What language is that?
I'm thinking it's ancient Asian, but like Asian, like before Han, like 6,000 years, maybe further back, where people don't. If you're not really deep into languages, you can't read that.
It reminds me of the fact that the British had like a UFO coming through. It's I think it's even a known incident. They had several British soldiers touching that object, and one person suddenly had all this binary code in his third eye, or in his inner eye, was writing that down, and was an exact message coming through in binary code.
So, that's the Rendlesham. That's the Rendlesham Forest incident. I know
exactly.
I studied that part. But isn't it amazing that this guy kept his mouth shut because of NDA for 30 years and a sworn oath, and then brings back what he channeled in zeros and one, mind you, Maschinensprache, machine language. If you have one digit messed up, you have no message.
Being silent about stuff for years, I can relate to that. But this guy, he had like pages and pages of numbers, ones and zeros, and it all came together as a consecutive message about a species that claims to have been here on this planet somewhere around England, and their island was completely sunken into the ocean. Old maps shows that there used to be an island. So there seem to be these civilizations that vanished from the planet. We've talked about that many, many times here, but they vanished from the planet, and somehow they channel back and they still observe what's going on Earth. What's your take on that?
Yeah, my take on that is like also like what Graham Hancock refers to, that we have this great flood going on, but it must have been a brutal flood, because here's the thing. When you go on a plane and you fly over the Americas, understand the entire plain of the Americas was flooded, and you can see it today. Fly from Phoenix to LA. Fly through the desert. You see all the water lines all the way in the dry desert. There's no water, but you see there are remnants of something massive that took place.
So 15,000 years ago, we have this flood that you're mentioning, and this is like a cyclical movement that the Earth goes through and through and through until they learn what we're supposed to learn. And according to a lot of ET sources, this is right the time where this happens again, and this time we learn the lessons. But I want to know from you, what can people do to shift, and also how can they connect to these other realms?
Well, connecting to these other realms is that in your mind is to try to surrender. You know, when they say it's surrender to love, it's actually deeper than love. Surrender to really what actually is, and not what is portrayed as if so. Surrender to yourself with everything that you feel, everything that you believe, every thought, anything that comes in, and look at everything and start forming patterns in what's coming in, and you'll open up sooner or later. And then you'll find yourself in, like you and I, we're moved to places or drawn to places where we live now because they're calling us. That is a higher galactic positioning of souls that can have an impact to change the planet. And it's not only you and me, we're just the extremes of the particles.
So 1999, you had your where your life was actually taking these turns where you got more and more spiritual. Interestingly enough, 2001, you had a massive musical hit with Letzte Warnung, Last Warning in Germany, which brought you a golden LP. Now you're sitting in this, which seems to be a lab. It's a, you know, almost like, for people at home, it might look like a mad scientist lab, because there's things, you know, that might not make sense in the first place. Can you explain what a bioresonant engineer is, and what you actually now are producing in your lab?
Okay, so bioresonant engineer means, like, I'm looking at bioresonance, and bioresonance is simply put this way. You put an apple in your kitchen, after 4 days, it begins to decay. If you put an apple in your root cellar, it lasts up to a year. Why is that? Because the bioresonance in the original soil is higher than in your electrical square large house, you know? So I studied since I was little, learning tricks from grandma, not knowing this was already paving the way. How do you get somebody in bioresonance? So let's say if somebody lives on Times Square, he'll age faster when somebody that lives at, let's say, near Ka Beach on Kauai, somewhere in the area of Kapa, in the jungle. They'll stay younger, they stay fresher. Why is that? Why is it that African acacian trees that take up to 100 years to grow in the Saharan desert need only 20 years in Hawaii to be fully matured? Because of the high bioresonance. Bioresonance also includes scalar waves, like the pyramids in Bosnia. You know, big ups to Sam Osmaganic. That is a high resonant, bioresonant energy, and people heal because cells pick up on bioresonant frequencies. So let's say you have asthma, you go into a salt mine, your asthma will disappear. It's not just because of the minerals, because this is a higher resonating factor of biological life that is healthy, and your cells get that. And I'm teaching people to bring that back. So people say, well, I can't walk around with a salt mine around my neck. That would be too heavy. So how could you make that potent? So I took crystalline sand and put it in a brass container as a biophotonic transmitter to wear that around you to increase the vibratory state of your being. And then, I mean, there's other things. It's not the pill for to heal all, but it's to get you into higher states of consciousness, get you into higher states of memory. I had a friend of mine that you know too, and he remembers, named Sid, wear one of those pendants, and he says, Ra, tell me, why am I having dreams of Egypt and Egyptian temples since I'm wearing this? I'm reloading past lives that are fragmented back into your consciousness. And that's what
you were the one who gave Sid Goldberg, 2 times Emmy Award winning and also producer at Gaia for Cosmic Disclosure. You were the one who gave him that pendulum, or that thing.
Yes,
that
yes.
he showed it to me. He said it's so strong he can't wear it. Is that the one?
I gave that to him. Yeah.
Wow.
And he spoke with me. You know, he asked me, because I had a conversation with him. about ET figures, and some resonate bad, some resonate good, and then just said, you know, if it resonates bad, then don't touch it, don't deal with it. If it feels good, then work with it. Yeah, and when I ship you one, don't worry at night because it might not let you sleep.
That's okay. I never sleep anyway. It's 3 a.m. 30 right now. So.
Okay, okay,
Can you
okay.
show us some of your pieces? Because I mean, it's impressive to see your lab, all the blinking stuff. It always, you know, it gives me Tesla vibes. And I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
some of your pieces already, and they are remarkably beautiful. So maybe you can show them in the camera.
So this one here is hopefully, so if it interferes right now, these things are strong. I had certain systems shut off. So this is a contact beacon. And I looked at Nassim Harriman, I looked at Bashar's contact crystal, I looked at Patrick Flanagan's radiant shield, and I looked at the Andromedan Fred Bell, these projection shields, and I said, I want all of those things, all of them have in one. So this is built almost like a watch and a crop circle. We're stable now still?
Yes, we are. Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, and basically what this does, it basically is a carbon contact beacon with dark matter is symbolized, and it has hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, a compound attracting to carbon, which is you, connecting you to your galactic family. And in the background, I have a 12 times 12 shield, which is from an atomic perspective as the Council of 12, the 12 original creator universes. I'm going 12 dimensional because I think that's the most protective layer you can run is 12 dimensional. Like I'm going from a 12 base, 12 strand DNA to reactivate those codes in you. And a lot of things where science would say it hasn't been proven. I channeled it in. This came in. I'm doing my job. I am the conduit to bring that forth. This is a 24 karat gold plated kind of NASA technology. I found a company that plates actually NASA spaceships in gold. When they come into the atmosphere, they don't burn. And I said, because I want you guys, because it's going to be durable. And that is called the Shem-An. And Shem-An comes from shaman, which means actually right before the source. To make face conjugate on earth, from spirit to matter, by the divine name as it's decreed, by the holy, holy of holies. Like to bring order to where chaos reigned for some long time. So this is this 24 karat golden Shem-An contact beacon. So that's the idea, and that's right now. I'm assembling that. I'm like on my assembly table. If I had a webcam, I would show you like I have like 50 placed in all the parts, and like a watchmaker, clockmaker with magnifying glasses and microbial little screwdrivers. I'm putting things together, and I enjoy thoroughly what I do. To show you how I conceive this, first I use the laser cutter to get the three-dimensional form. And then I have to make this three-dimensional, which is you channel interdimensional knowledge, make it three-dimensional, bring it into the computer, and then translate it into a machine that can actually print it in 3D. That is a whole other, took me 2 years.
You were mentioning Hollywood, and you were mentioning, you know, the industry also, you know, conveying certain messages into the world. And you were with Sammy Deluxe and Xavier Naidoo, which are very, very known to Germans for their critical approach towards society. And in the US, we know that rap music once came originally from spreading knowledge, spreading wisdom. And we know that intelligence groups in the US have made rap music more about criminality, et cetera, because apparently the criminal system in the US is commercialized. So were you ever under the impression that there was no space for spiritual messages in rap music? And do you think that is going to change with the whole shifting process of Earth right now?
Well, I think that back then my spiritual mentors, as in rap music, was Rakim. They call him the God MC. And he just released an album 2 days ago, I think. It's called God's Network, The Rebirth. So conscious rap is coming back. Make no mistake. Like the new stars will be those who really actually bringing back the real magic and the real essence. And spiritual rap had a place in the 90s. That's kind of where the golden era of where rappers were poetic and creative. And I say to people, don't give up. You know, it's right now a lot of mumble rap and a lot of sellout, and and a lot of whatever videos that have 300 million views. That doesn't mean anything. This will fade out because darkness, I tell people, has no endurance, no sustainability ever, and darkness is always finite. We are infinite beings, like Daniel Brinkman said. We have a sense of direction, we have a purpose, and we are dignified beings, always and forever in eternity. And we will remember that. So after 20 years of hiatus, I'm planning to bring back a new rap album and do it one more time. So I'm in the middle of process of putting some songs together. One is called Starseeds Activate, and I want it conscious, videos, outer space, crazy. I mean, one video, when you have the time, watch it. It's called Higher Self Emerging. That's one of my singles that I just released, all with AI and me, but consciousness, using AI in a way that you don't lose the I am.
That's a good approach towards AI, definitely. I love that. I really do love the pieces that you've shown, especially the golden one. It's looking really, really brilliant, literally brilliant. How do people find you? How do people get your devices? What's next for you?
Okay, so basically, ra-key.com is my website. The science is explained. My YouTube channel is Arcturus Ra. Just like subscribe to you, subscribe to me. If you feel the vibe, join your tribe. And you see what I do. I promote. I'm on Instagram, also Arcturus Ra, one word. And I post my science. If you check my videos, every new inventions or prototype, I'm showing what I'm doing. And the golden ones will be released next month. I'm in the assembly phase right now. I'm imprinting them with human resonance. Like, I'm doing crazy stuff that hasn't been done before. Like, literally imprinting a pendant with the earth resonant frequency. So I'm running a resonant to a rodent coil, if you know what that is, EMF programming, and imprinting that device that it emanates that. And I had people hold the stuff, and trust me, you will tell me your experience after I ship you some stuff. I'll put some things together, some stickers. I have phone stickers. I have phone stickers that change the way your mitochondria metabolizes. And I have measured that by a German institute. And German institutions, if you're garbage, you're garbage. They're not giving you a certificate. They're very strict, conservative. But that's now to my advantage that they're that strict. So basically, my phone sticker, which is based on the same substance that's within the keys, metabolizes your mitochondria in 2 days by 21%, meaning makes you less susceptible to 5G, measurably, So I have science backing it up. I have tests done. I have pictures, Masaru Emoto, crystals form in the water when you introduce my sticker, which is micrograms, to water. Harmonious crystals come and form. So that's, again, I'm enhancing life force, state of being, and reloading your original consciousness back to your body. That's the mission.
Everyone, this is what happens when you let spirituality come from Germany into the world. Thank you so much for being with me and Arturus Ra today. And if you want to see more spirituality in Germany, well, we got you covered, because there's a big All Shift Happening Now conference coming up in October for you. Check that out. If you haven't already, reserve your ticket, allshifthappeningnow.com/conference. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was the Shifter Podcast. See you soon.